Don't take it personal, I ain't lying, I ain't hiding. I've been grinding, multiplying. I've been trying to get my weight up, staying prayed up, meditating and taking time away.
What's up, you guys? This is your good old girl boss, Tori the Boss Carter, and you have tuned into another episode of Talks with Tori. For those that don't know me, you must have it spiritually, mentally, and physically in order to be a girl boss. Yes, honey! You must have it spiritually, mentally, and physically in order to be a good old girl boss. So, for further ado, before we get in this channel, you guys know how I like to do it. Grab your tea, grab your coffee, and let's get into this chitter chatter, honey. Okay, so I have a lot, not sponsorship, but I'm going to tell you something, guys, about a little secret that I have out here in these streets, honey. Because you guys know you are tuning into this good old word. And the word is part 2 to hashtag single, delayed but not denied. Yes, honey, delayed but not denied, because you know God shows up for us. But I'm going to tell you guys a little secret that I got going on with my tea today. Yes, I have some kombucha tea. Kombucha. Yes, it's not sponsored, but I want to tell you guys about a good old healthy journey that I'm going on. And I'm drinking some good old kombucha. Yes, guys, if you haven't had this in your health journey, you definitely, honey, need to get you on this kombucha tea, girl. This is good. This is gut health. This is a lot of things. Definitely, I think every girl boss needs this kombucha tea in her regimen. But I just want to tell you guys what I was drinking today in the good old coffee cup. So we're just going to place her to the side, honey, because we got some tea for today. We got some interesting topics that we need to talk about. You know how I like to do it. You know, if like God has not led me to be on this channel, then I'm not getting on. I'm definitely not getting on unless it's Holy Spirit led. So today on the channel, I definitely got more tea, more talk. I think last time I definitely ran out of like camera. My battery died, you guys. My battery died, and then I was just like over it because you guys don't know what goes into recording. And I was just like, you know what? I'm over it. I'm just going to do it part 2. That was just me saying, that was just Holy Spirit telling me, hey, you got to do a part 2 for what all the goodies you were talking about on the goodies. So I think when we left, we was talking about relationships and being single and why God has you in a single place and why it's very important, yes, us, to know why you're in that single place. Yes, honey. Yes, honey. Yes. I don't think that a lot of you know what you're carrying. The reason why God still have you in that singleness, honey. Singleness is created by God. Sometimes we want to do what we want to do, but God is pulling us back and he's saying, hey, listen here. Your singleness is where I have you because I want to cultivate something inside of you. And so a lot of times we want to rush God's hand. But today on this, on my platform, I want to tell you guys the reason why you may be single. Oh, and guys, don't mind my little moon child, little baby sideburn here, honey. It's just going to do what it's going to do. But hopefully we can get her together and she don't just move around too much. Yes, you know, if I had to do a part 2, I had to bring a double outfit because last week we was talking about what it was to be like, you know, bold in a workplace. And your girl is definitely bold. So today I brought you some more feathers. And yes, if you know, if your good old girl boss love it, she's going to buy it in 2s. So today I have on this little blue set with the feathers and the pants, the bottoms. But girl, look at it. It's just it's just doing what it's got to do. It's springtime. I'm ready to get into it. I just think so much is happening. I'm excited. You guys hear I'm rambling, but let's get into this good old girl boss talk. But you know how I like to do it before I get into talk. I like to bring you guys some products. So I'm just going to share with you guys a little products, what I'm wearing today on my face, honey. Yes, honey. Then we're going to get into the chitter chat of the day. So before we get started, I'd like to tell you guys that I am using the Juvia's palette. This is a pretty much older palette. You guys know I'm into makeup. I love the makeup. Girl, don't throw away nothing, okay? Well, I don't know why, but I just don't throw away a lot of makeup. So today in the on my face, I have a good old older Juvia palette that I have on today that I did my eyes with. And honey, for some reason that when they be talking about the blues don't show up on a black girl, you just gotta know how to do the blues right, honey. Because any blue can show up on any person. And especially those chocolate sister honey, because I'm giving you much blue today. So it's gonna tell you about this Juvia palette. Miss Juvia gets you right, honey. She's gonna bring you through. So with this palette, it's pretty much digged in. I'm gonna tell you guys, this is really like a blush highlighter palette, but I definitely used it for some eyeshadow today. Girl, you know if I can multiply it, that's what God does for us. When he give us something, we multiply. So I thought that, why not use that in my everyday? Why don't I just multiply these colors on my eyes? Yes, sis, I'm multiplying these colors on my eyes. So today I got on Berber, and this is very beautiful. And then I also dug in a little bit of, oh my gosh, I had a matte palette, but it's definitely in my bathroom. I didn't bring it on today, but it's a matte palette that I use for like the browns, because you know a girl ain't a good old girl if she ain't got no browns in her collection. And you know a good old girl boss loves the browns. She loves the browns. So sis, out of this palette, to give me that like sparkly blue, match the feathers, honey, you know I'm bold, honey. We did Berber, and she is so cute, and she's out of my Juvia palette. If you have her, if you don't, you need to go ask about her, because she got me together today. She definitely got me together. And she's, like I said, she's been pretty much used, but she's on point to do what she needs to do. So I also, for my highlighter today, girl, your good old girl boss, this Lori Mercier, she's everything, honey. She is highlighted, she is pigment, she is coming through. And today I baked a little bit with her, a lot of it. I made a lot of it with her, but I definitely have on Honey Star, and Honey Star is doing what she needs to do. She is giving me the glow that I've been looking for, and I love Honey Star. Honey Star is where she is, honey, where she is, and you want to be where she at. Tell the good old girl boss, you want to be where she at. So Honey Star is definitely being used on my for my highlighter, for my under eyes. I used her a little bit on my forehead and on my chin area, around my nose, to give me that good old glow, honey. And she came through. She did what she needed to do. For to set my face, I used a primer, one of my favorites, and you can see that it's pretty much been used. And this primer is by Too Faced. It's Prime and Poreless. And girl, if you deal with pores, you definitely want to cop her, because she just makes you look so flawless. And she is a pore banishing and blurring face primer. And for the good old girlies, you definitely want to check this primer out. You definitely want to get her in your collection. Mine is pretty much being used. The tube is like tubing. And then you guys know it ain't a podcast. Girl, sit down, talk, okay? If the good old Anastasia Beverly has not came through, honey, I have some Anastasia Beverly on my lip. She's a nude. She's very nude. She's very used, because your good old girl boss is going to use a good old nude, honey. Every girl boss need a nude in her collection. Today, you're going to be stained lipstick Pearline, I think that's the name of this one. Pearline is by Anastasia Beverly. And you guys if you don't have this, you need to cop this one. You need to cop this one. So guys, I know you are ready, and you were listening last week when we were talking about what it was to be single and why God has you single. So let me go back and through some little notes that I have, and we're going to talk about it. Let's get into the talk about it. So again, if you haven't grabbed your tea and your coffee, you better go run and go grab it before I get into this segment, honey. Honey, where you been? It's a little tart. So guys, you know, if you're not like an apple cider vinegar type of girl, you ain't gonna like this, because it's giving apple cider vinegar. Okay, it's very like, it's giving that face, honey. Oh, I love my mug. What it says today, it says on fleek. On fleek. That single life is definitely on fleek, honey. Grab it. Okay, guys, back to it. So we were talking about hashtag single, delayed but not denied. And we just want to get into some notes that we had, and I definitely want to talk to you guys because you have to say why does ask the question, why am I single? What do God want from me in this season? Why am I acting like a pick me? Why am I so thirsty, honey? We talked about being thirsty, and some of y'all are just put on thirst. Some of y'all on thirst, honey. It's pretty much thirsty. And then and it's like, why am I thirsty? And it's like, are you allowing God to fill you? Or are you allowing that man to fill you in other agendas that are not God's agendas for your life? So you have to ask yourself all of those questions. And I think last week I was in the middle of story time. Maybe God was trying to tell me something. But yes, I want to share with you guys something more personal on my channel about, hey, your good old girl go through stuff too. And she has to understand that. So we were right in the part when we were talking about like the spiritual, the mental, and the physical. And I think I was right in there where that mental was. And it was like, sis, your mental? If you ain't got your mental together, how are you dating in this season? How are you going to give what it needs to give if you're not dating? So I started off by saying, hey, I was at this party, and the party was partying, honey. The party was partying, and it was a good old party. And like I said and told you guys, like, I'm dating this guy, and we also going to talk about dating and what it is to date, because I don't think a lot of us are dating. I think we think Jesus is going to send the man to our doorstep while we Netflixing and chilling. And girl, that's not going to happen. You got to get yourself out there. And so even if you have to do like a practice run with an ex, I don't care what you do, girl, you got to get out there. You got to get yourself out there. You got to get into the know. Like, you got to know what's going on. What are the rules for this season? Because like my good old girl boss Sarah said, is pee in the pool, but you going to have to swim in it anyway. You going to have to swim, honey. I added my own little quotes, but she didn't say swim in it, but you definitely gonna have to get out there if you want to find someone, and it's not gonna be easy. So you're gonna have to get in that pool and see what's out there. So when I was talking to you guys on last week, we were talking about having a mental aspect to just be in a season, literally be in a season of dating. And I was at this party, and he had invited me with a group of girls, and it was a group of boys, it was a group of girls, and of course I had my homegirl with me, and we were definitely, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm flying everywhere, but we were definitely sitting there, and she was looking at me, and I was looking at her. I was like, girl, what is she looking at? What is she looking at? And she was like, we were staring each other down at this party. But I had to notice that all of these insecurities that I had about myself start to come up. And like I told you guys last week, me and this guy are just dating. We're not official. We're not trying to get married. We are just literally two single people that are making time to have a life. And with that being said, it's just like, do you want to go on a couple of dates? Do you want to go on an outing? Oh, okay, we're just mingling. We're getting to know each other for real. Like, it's just like, what do you like? What you don't like? What are you doing now in your 40s? And I'm like in my late 30s. And it's like a back and forth kind of exchanging. But in my singleness, I'm learning that even in that moment when we've already established, me and him have sat down, and we've already established that we're not a unit, we're just dating. Girl, your girl went real ghetto, okay? Ain't gonna lie. Your girl had so many things that were coming up that my mental, I didn't know, because when you think you're healed, sis, 9 times out of 10, you're not really healed when you think you're healed. And the way God shows you is in a mysterious ways. So I was literally having some things come up with me not being able to I was having trust issues. A lot of that was coming up, and then I felt like I wasn't enough in that moment of me being at this party, and not realizing when I walked in the party that everybody else seemed that I was enough, but because I had this one person staring me down, giving me the eyeballs, ready to fight, she was really looking at me like she wanted to do something. Like, I was like, girl, bye, you know. But in that moment, I was just like so mad. I told my bestie, I was like, girl, let's go. Let's get our stuff and let's go. Let's go somewhere else. Let's do some other things. And remind you, we're in Atlanta, girl. And it was a nice house. And I was really kind of upset with myself because I allowed myself to I allowed my insecurities to take me out of a good time where I was really having a great time. But because I was showing signs of insecurities and I was getting upset and I was mad at him because he wasn't doing what I wanted him to do, or he wasn't making me feel the way I wanted to feel, had me really bugging when I actually sat with myself. I was like, oh my God, you thought you was healed. You thought you was healed from these things, and really you're not. You're showing signs of desperation. You can't be by yourself. You need affirmation from a man. Like, you don't need those things when you're healed. God want to give us a whole you. Like, when you get ready to meet that guy or that man or that husband, God wants you to be whole. But sometimes, even through your dating season, he's going to show you those cracks that you still need to work on. So really, you're dating with the potential to marry, sis. You're not trying to go into this thing just saying, okay, I'm ready tomorrow. Like, I met this good guy. He's cute. He's funny. And we're going to be married in 3 months, because that's what Disney have taught us. Disney has taught us that our boy, our man, our husband is coming on a white horse to save us. And really, you don't need nobody to save you, because Jesus saved you 200,000 years ago. So what are you waiting on? Why are you so, not what are you waiting on, but why are you so adamant about being in a relationship? And God is saying right now, I don't need you in a relationship. I need you so focused on me, sis, that you won't even know when he comes into your life. He's just going to send Boaz your way. And you ain't going to have to worry about, let me get my stuff together. Let me make sure this is going on. Let me make sure that is going on. You're going to be already together, because you're going to be already whole. You're going to have your finances together, sis. Yes, some of y'all don't have your finances together. You're going to have your finances together. Your car going to be together. You probably already have your own home. But what we realize is, like, we're so ready to build with someone else, and God is trying to build with us. And for me, being in my singleness, I am learning that there's a lot of areas that I'm still working through. And I don't mind sharing that on my channel. I don't mind coming to you guys and say, hey, maybe I'm not as whole as I want to be. Maybe there's some areas that I still need to work on, some daddy issues that still come up every now and then, because let's be for real. A lot of us did not have our fathers. And that's one of the reasons that we show these signs of insecurities and needing words of affirmation and needing to be brought to a place where we feel enough. And really, God is saying, you are enough. I made you. I formed you before I even knew you in your mother's womb. I'm your daddy. I'm your father. I'm your covering until your husband comes. And a lot of times, we're not attracting what it is that God has for us. It's like we attract everything that is not of God. Because you know why you're attracting those things? Because you ain't healed. So you keep picking up the same man with a different face, a different body structure, and he's the same guy with every guy. And you're like, God, but I'm out here, I'm putting my feet in the water, and but you're not healed. And you're not taking the time to be on these dates to learn. Are you ready to get what God has for you? Does that man have capacity in what you are carrying? That's a word, sis. That is a word. Let's sit with that for a minute and let's think. I like to say it like that. I think that's what Holy Spirit is leading me to say. Do he have the capacity to carry you in what God has for you? What you're carrying, he will have the capacity to carry. I think it's a lot of times we don't understand that. Like, would this person be able to grow with me? Would he acknowledge that I am a CEO of a company and I can't get 3 meals on the table a week? Or I'm a CEO and I'm going to need for you to hire a chef because I may not be the one to cook for us. Um, can he handle you being on conference calls and being in meetings and maybe making more money than he makes and being okay with you doing that? And he's not somewhere feeling insecure in himself because you are the one that's holding the bag. You have to ask yourself that. Is this man stable enough in his own mind to go through the test that God has for me in my life? Can he be transitional? Can he make transition as needed? Can he stand in the back while I'm standing in the front? And I know everybody is about to like light up the chats with this one. Can he stand in the back? Well, what I'm trying to say is it's going to be times in a marriage where you're doing really good and he's not doing as good. And it's going to be a time in a marriage where he's doing really good, but you're not doing really good. And then there's going to be times in a marriage where you guys are like here. And every which way you turn, y'all got each other's back. Because that's what marriage is sometimes. Marriage is the good, the ugly, and everything. And nobody talks about the ugly. Nobody talks about being in a relationship when it's ugly. Sticking around when the person goes through a mental break. Nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about when the husband completely lose their mind and you're having to be the sole provider of your family and he's in a mental breakdown and you wondering, this is not the man that I met when I met him. You're having to understand, like, being everything. If he gets in a car accident, if he can't wipe his own behind, can I be that support for my husband, or am I going to leave because the times get tough? Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about it. Everybody just see the highlight reels of Instagram. And since I had this thing, and I'm going to tell you guys the truth, I used to have these little people, like I used to have celebrities on my page, and it'd be like, marriage goals, relationship goals, and I'm especially, it was just like, I won't name no names, but there were quite a few. And when I really got to know these celebs and really broke down their life, I'm like, their life doesn't represent anything that God has for me. They're not even living in the faith. They don't have faith nowhere in their life. So why am I hashtagging goals to something that is just highlighted reel for Instagram or Facebook or a TikTok or all of these things? And I'm just I'm living my best life, hashtag goals, vacay bae, and not knowing the girl probably paid for the entire vacation. And the guy's back half want to be in the picture. And he's like, oh my God, my side chick gonna see us. You know, there's some real stuff out here, girls, while you trying to hurry up and be in these relationships. You guys have to really understand and walk with God in a season where it seems pretty blurred. Because a lot of times we want these things, but they're not realistic. And we haven't done the work. We haven't put in the work to get there. So a lot of times we're wanting these amazing goals that we see on Instagram, Facebook, and all these social media platforms, but you haven't done the work, sis. You haven't done the work. You haven't done the work. And when you are comparing yourself to other women, when God said you're one of a kind, that you are like, just like your fingerprints, sis, you're one of a kind. So when you sit there and you compare your life to a celebrity's life, or your life to your best friend's life, and trust me, I've been there. I have a good friend that's been my friend over 20 years that was in a marriage, and I don't even want to say this on camera. I wanted what she had. I was like, oh my God, I wanted that marriage. It wasn't that I wanted her marriage. It was that we were best friends. We've been friends since we were like in 4th grade. And when she got married like pretty young, and they had the perfect life. Like, they had the house in Atlanta, and she was doing her thing, and I just thought she was so amazing. And I was like, God, me and my besties been through everything together. Like, we literally was like 4th grade friendship. Like, I know her, she knows me. I'm like, her mom knows my mom. Like, we are best friends. It's like a vanilla it's like Oreo cookie when you see us, honey, because I'm the chocolate and she's the vanilla. That's just always been that. We've been and we have fun and we do everything together. I think we did everything together. Like, we've done life together. She's my person. She's my person that I do life with. And so when she got married, I wanted to be like her. And her marriage taught me a lot of valuable things. And not to share her story, but marriages are not always what they crack up to be. And she tell me all the time, sis, like, be patient. God is gonna bless you with your own. Just walk in what He has you in. Enjoy your singleness. Like, I have the most married friend. I don't know, God know how to make you laugh, because I have the most marriage friends around me, and I'm not even married. I'm not the married one, and it's weird. I'm the single sis, and everybody else is married. So I have friends that just pour into me and tell me about their marriage, but it's God's way of saying, listen, you're not ready for what you think you're ready for. There's some things I want to do in you because you are giving big womb energy. Some of y'all are carrying something so big and so extraordinary that God wants you to Himself. He don't want to share you. He does not want to share you with no one. He is a selfish God, because there's some things He's trying to birth through you. So your womb is carrying something so big, and even if you take your eyes off of God, then you may ruin the whole process. Not only your life, but your children's life and your grandchildren's life, and the people that are connected to you. You may never be able to rescue those people, because we're all connected in some type of way. We're all connected. So when you think about the things that you're carrying for the Lord, you have to be really careful and really sensitive to hear and talk to Him and ask Him, why do He have me in this situation in the first place? God, just understand that God has time. He has times and seasons that He do things. And if you guys haven't checked that video out, go back and listen to it, because there's times and there are seasons in your life that God literally got you in. And you're trying to work outside of the time of God, and you're removing His hand off what He has to bless you with. And I think a lot of us do that. You could become the Cain inside of your destiny, and you don't even know. You could kill what God has for you, and you don't want to be the Cain inside of your destiny. You don't want that. And that was Abel and Cain in the beginning of the Bible, and Cain just offered up a bigger Abel offered up a bigger sacrifice than Cain did. He ended up killing his own brother because he could not come to the fact that Cain was sacrificed more than he sacrificed. And he didn't like that. So he became envy of his brother. And a lot of times we're sitting around envying our friends because they're living this life that we haven't lived yet. But God said you can have the same life. It wasn't that Abel was just so much better than Cain. They were twins. They were brothers. It was because Abel was just giving more to God. He gave more. He put out more. So when you're at home at night and you're going to instead of you going to the party, you're giving God more. You're giving Him more time. You're giving Him more praise. You're worshiping Him more. You spending time with Him, and that's what's going to get you what God has for you, sis. That's what's going to get you what God has for you. And you don't have to be envy, and you don't have to kill your best friend, and you don't have to feel some type of way, because even in that moment, I was kind of envying my best friend's her marriage, and not knowing that God has my own special marriage for me, and that we're not equal just because we're friends, just because we grew up together, just because we got this best friend Oreo cookie kind of lifestyle doesn't mean that she's better than me, and it doesn't mean I'm better than her. We're just in two different lives in our situation, and God made us different. He gave us different fingerprints. He gave us different I don't know, guys. I just don't know. You got to make sure that man is partnership, that he can partner with you, that he can just, I've been in some relationships, honey. Sus, your girl has been in some relationships. Okay. I've been in an abusive relationship. Yes, I have. I've been in a relationship where a man couldn't even cover me because we didn't even believe in the same God. And y'all, the devil is busy. Your adversary, he's real busy. He knows what you want before you even know what you want. Like, he knows because he done peeped in your destiny. He done sat back and he was in the beginning with God. So he knows. He knows what you thirsting for. And that's why I talk about the woman at the well and thirsting. He will send you. I remember it was some times that I prayed for a man. I prayed for this man. Like, I prayed for him. Every time he would show up. And when he came around, I was like, who sent you? Who sent you? Who sent you? I was asking him who sent him. Because I was like, you too good to be true. Like, wait a minute. Come to find out, this was the devil from hell. I had never been in no relationship like this in my life. Like, I was crying coming home to the man because I wanted to be out so bad. I wanted to be out of that relationship. I didn't want parts of that relationship. I was just wanting to, like, run. I didn't even want to come to my own house where I was paying the bills. And girl, we can go deep into that subject, but you got to get the book. You definitely got to get the book. But I was crying because I didn't want to go to my own house because that's how tormented I was when I was dating this guy. And like, you don't want people that are not praying to the same God as you, and you being connected to that person, because when you're married to someone, girl, we can go deep into that subject. So you want a man that got his mind on Jesus, honey. Definitely got his mind, especially in today's time. You want a man that has his mindset on the Lord even more than he has his mindset on you. That he got to pull away from you and say, hey, I'm going to pray because it's time for me to pray. He praying 3 times a day. He fasting once a month at least, honey. He be able to comfort you, because that's what type of man that you're going to need in your life in this day and times that we're living into. Like, we're living in the last and evil days, and if we don't have our mind fixated on the things of the Lord, then we're going to miss God. And God is the next big event that my grandmother is speaking to me about. It's going to be the rapture. We don't know the day nor the hour that he may decide to drop in. So if you don't have your life right, you're not living a Christian life. If you got your mind on the things of this world, you mindless, you ain't thinking about God. Let me tell you, the day of Noah, they were drinking, they were partying, they were hookering, they were smoking good weed. Okay, they were marrying, having babies. They were doing all the things. Ain't nothing new up under the sun. Now, they probably wasn't doing hookah. I don't know. I just added that. That's why y'all need to read your Bible. Because, see, you don't listen, and then you ain't reading your Bible, and somebody take you astray. But yes, honey, you don't know the day or the hour that the Lord may come. And it might not be in God's plan for you to get married. So what you going to do then? If God don't have plans for you to marry or be in a relationship, what will you do with your time? Have you asked yourself that? Have you asked yourself that? Because I've asked myself that. I'm like, it may not be in God's plan for me to be married. And I especially know that now, because I know he's calling me to ministry. I know he has called me to a ministry. I know he's called me to a group of women, to empower a group of women. And right now, it's just not the time. Because let me tell you about your good old girl boss. If a guy come my way, I'm gonna make sure he's good, because that's one thing about me. I am a nourishing, like, I'm gonna take care of my man. Okay, he's gonna be well taken care of. That's a different story, but he's gonna be well taken care of. And sometimes when we're taking care of so many things, that we can get our minds off of the things of the Lord. And like right now, I know God just does not have me in that space to be in a relationship. And right now, I'm just dating with the potential to marry. And that means I'm looking at the guy credit. Can he be an investor? Can he invest his money? Can he, because we live in generational wealth around here, and so you will learn that on this channel. You will learn about what it is to invest, what it is to get in your spiritual bag, what it is to get in your mental bag, your physical bag, and baby, just your bag, period, okay? You will learn all those things, and you know, if you are tuned into this channel, you must have it spiritually, mentally, and physically in order to be a good old girl boss, because you cannot run your race, honey, if you don't have all those things, honey. Yes, for the good old sis in the back. You must have all those things to be a girl boss. Girl boss is just not having a Gucci bag, a Louis Vuitton, the YSL. Some of y'all rich but poor. Okay, that's another subject. But yes, can he be an investor? Can he stand in the gap with you? Can he take care of you? Can he be your covering? Those are the things you should be asking yourself in your single life. And remember, I'm never going to get on this channel unless God has something for me to say. And I think this is the time, this is the now season, due to the fact that I have a lot of single girlfriends right now that is like, girl, what is going on? What is going on with these men? I'm like, girl, oh no. It's like we dating our little brothers. Men, if you're out there, just hear us out. Like, what is going on? And a lot of times it's like, are we too bossed up? I didn't heard it all. I didn't heard everything. And it's like, no, you're not too bossed up, because the man for you is going to be able to handle all what it is to give, honey, from a good old sis in the back. He's going to be able to handle you. He's going to be handling everything that you carry, and he's going to be able to carry. He's going to love you for you. He's not going to try to downplay what you. He's not going to be able to downplay you and what God has for you. He's just going to be right there with you, sis. He's going to be living it up with you. He's going to respect you. He's going to respect your time. He's going to be like, my baby's at the office. I'm going to go bring her some lunch. You know, it's a lot of things you guys need to think about in your singleness. And I'm so happy to share this moment with you. I'm so happy to walk this journey with you and what it is and what it means to be single. Because I'm right in the pool with you with the pee. The pee is in the pool, sis. And I'm there with you. Taking every step of the way, girl. So you know how we like to do it. At the end of this video, you guys will want to go check out the look. Because I definitely have a look on today. And yeah, girl, it's like, it's party time, okay? Yes, girl, I'm gonna be on somebody's rooftop this season. I told my friends, like, I'm with the day parties this spring. I want to have all the colors. I'm a bright girl. I want to have, you know, I love dramatics. I'm just bringing you all the fashion for the spring. I'm bringing you everything from spiritually, mentally, and physically. So before you click off this video, don't forget to subscribe to this Good Old Girl Boss channel and help YouTube know that I'm your new girl boss. I'm your new friend. I'm your new juju. To all my girls out there, thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to check out the look with your girl, Tori the Boss Carter.
Taking time away. You always posting up pictures, trying to look like you winning. I'm writing rhymes in the kitchen, soaking in moments we live in. Yeah, you got the nerve to be on me, faking your life for the IG. If you got my number, don't ask